Hey, what's going on, guys? Gamer Dude back once again with some interesting news regarding the Marvel gaming universe. So, I know I've been a bit quiet with content lately, and it's simply down to the fact that there's really been nothing worth reporting on. And, I don't really have any new games to live stream, so I haven't really been doing any live streams either. It's not that I don't want to do it, it's just that, you know, it's nothing that you guys haven't seen before. I've covered pretty much all of the games that I want to cover on the channel. And given that the pandemic is still ongoing, we're struggling for new games as it is. So until something new comes out that I actually want, live streams will probably be a bit dead. But I am going to keep trying to produce videos like this when there's something worthy of reporting, like today. Now, as you can see from the title, a major crossover may actually be in the works from the Injustice game creator. The Marvel and DC universes have actually crossed paths before, more times than you'd actually probably have guessed over the years. The Avengers have gone toe-to-toe with the Justice League, and Spider-Man has teamed up with both Batman and Superman on several occasions. I mean, this was a surprise to me. I knew they did crossovers back in the early 90s, but I didn't know they continued with them, so that's even something new to me, so it must be something new to you guys, unless you're diehard fans and follow it to the letter, but, moving on. As I said, crossovers like these used to happen every now and again in the comic books, but these days, not so much. Marvel and DC are owned by Disney and Warner Brothers, respectively. Meaning the odds of seeing the two universes collide are currently slim. Emphasis on slim, but not impossible. Disney has become a large corporation. They've become a conglomeration, if you like. Just snatching up everything Hollywood has to offer. It's like, I'm having some of that kind of thing. And, they own some bits of Warner Brothers. They own all of Marvel. So it would stand to reason that at some point in the future, we may get a crossover. I mean, we're doing Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, for example. Granted, that's going to be crossing over into the Marvel multiverse. But who's to say in one of these multiverses, the DC universe isn't there as well? Instead of Tony Stark's Iron Man, Tony Stark could be Batman. Imagine that. They'd still all have the same names, but it wouldn't be Bruce Wayne as Batman. It would be Tony Stark as Batman. How crazy would that be? Come to think of it, that's a great idea. I might have to do something about that. Anyway, moving on before I turn that into a massive debate. Last month, a notable leaker and industry insider, Daniel Richman, claimed that NetherRealm, the studio behind Mortal Kombat and DC fighting game Injustice Gods Among Us and Injustice 2, is developing a Marvel fighting game for next-gen consoles. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about another Marvel fighting game because we already have Marvel's Avengers, which is a big fighting game. They would really have to change things up to separate it from Marvel's Avengers. But moving on. The details on this project are scarce right now, but Richmond claims the game is already in production. So, will it be a predecessor to Marvel's Avengers? Will it be these new creators' version of sticking it to Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics saying, look, we can do it better, your game sucks? Only time will tell. Now, in a rather interesting development, NetherRealm boss and Mortal Kombat co-creator Ed Boon recently took to Twitter to drop a hint that many fans believe directly addressed the current rumours. Via retweeting a tweet from James Gunn, who has now worked on both Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and DC's Suicide Squad, Boon said that it was sort of impressive to the director, and that this guy has managed to play in both universes, both different universes, but very similar. The kind of the same characters, if you think about it. You've got Superman, who's essentially a god, who is very similar to Thor. You've got Batman, who is essentially a Tony Stark. You've got Hawkeye, who is essentially the DC version of their Archer. I forget the DC Archer. Who's the DC Archer again? I don't know, it's just drawn a blank. But you get where I'm coming from. You get what I'm trying to say. Now, taken on its own, this probably wouldn't mean all that much. But when you consider the recent rumours that NetherRealm are developing a Marvel fighting game, Boone's comments look an awful lot more intriguing. I should reiterate and I should stress that we still don't know for sure what NetherRealm is working on next. We already know we're getting something from Rocksteady regarding Batman. That's with the whole Bat family thing. We know we're getting a Suicide Squad game that killed the Justice League one. But this one is essentially going to be very similar to Injustice and Mortal Kombat. So who's to say what this game is going to be like? But some fans have taken Boone's comments to mean that this rumoured Marvel game will also include several DC characters, providing they can get permission, of course. If they can't get permission, then I'm guessing it'll just be a similar game to Injustice, but Marvel. You guys know what I'm saying there, don't you? But if this is done, it would mark the first time both universes have come together in a AAA fighting game. And that is something I would pay for, even if it is just like Injustice. Because although Injustice was like a 3D side-scroller fighting game, it still had a rather interesting story. It still had a story that I enjoyed playing. It still had cutscenes, it still had character development, and that's what I enjoy in a story. And I'm sure you guys as gamers enjoy the same thing as I do. Now, I have to tell you that much of this is indeed speculation. And reading through it all between the lines to find something that might not even be there. But there's no denying a Marvel vs. DC fighting game is long, long overdue. These two universes have to come together now. Marvel is dominating the box office. For a while, they were dominating the video game universe. But for some crazy reason, they stopped making Marvel video games, except Marvel's Avengers, of course. But you know what I'm talking about? They used to make games based on the movies. We had the Iron Man games. We had the Sam Raimi Spider-Man games. We had all sorts of games based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. But then they all seem to stop. So I would say that this is definitely overdue. It's definitely something I would pay for. It's definitely something I would enjoy playing. It's definitely something I would play. But to be honest, even if NetherRealm's next project is a straight-up Marvel fighting game with zero DC characters, as I said, that'd be cool too. But if Disney and Warner Brothers have come to some kind of agreement to allow Warner Brothers' own studio to develop a game with Marvel characters, not throwing the likes of Batman and Superman into the mix for a historic crossover, would, I must say, be a huge missed opportunity. Now, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys think this would be a good game? Do you think it would flop? Do you think it would be very similar to Marvel's Avengers with so many promises that don't get delivered? Or do you guys think it would be a huge success, even bigger than Marvel's Avengers and even bigger than the Injustice games? So do let me know in the comments what you guys think. And that is it for the video. So before we go, I want to drop my deepest condolences to anybody who may have lost a loved one due to the C virus. We have a vaccination now. We are rolling out. We are trying to keep safe. We are getting back to normal life. But it is still dangerous out there, so be careful. And just use your best judgment when you're going out. Everybody stay safe in these crazy days. I hope you all are keeping safe. And with that being said, if you are new to the channel, make sure you smash that like button and drop me a subscribe. I always sub back to new subscribers and view any content you may be producing. So yeah, until the next one, guys, this has been Gamer Dude. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all in the next one, guys.